Please stand for the prayer. Heavenly Father, bless this special group of young ladies gathered before us as they venture out beyond the gates of Ashley Hall. It is with honor and pride that we celebrate their accomplishments and hard work throughout the years. We give gratitude to all the dedicated Ashley Hall faculty, staff, and parents who have guided these students and given them the wisdom and knowledge to excel and make the world a better place. I entrust in you, God, to watch over these young ladies as they navigate the different challenges they will face in the future. Grant these girls the courage, patience, and perseverance to remain steadfast in their beliefs and true to the mission of Ashley Hall. Lord, we are so grateful to you for keeping us safe and giving us the strength to carry on. In your name we pray, amen.
Please be seated. Good evening. I'm overjoyed to welcome you to campus today in celebration of the young women in the class of 2021. I'm proud of their growth and especially grateful to you, their families, for your support and commitment and partnership with us through this year. Indeed, Ashley Hall's parents are a vital part of our success, and the Hugh C. Lane Jr. Outstanding Parent Volunteer Award recognizes a parent volunteer who has contributed time and talents generously to the school and who has been active in several different areas of school life. This year, I am so pleased to present this award to two parents who have used their incredible talents to make Ashley Hall a better place. Please stand to be recognized when your name is called. The mother of Natalie, class of 2022, and Julia, class of 2023, Artie Richards, has been deeply involved with the parent engagement process for many years. She led the Parent Council task force that was instrumental in the creation of Ashley Hall's parent engagement team and has chaired a number of events in support of our signature initiatives. As someone whose dedication to our school knows no limits, Artie leads a life of service that is an example to us all. Thank you, Artie. The mother of Ava, class of 2021, and Lauren, class of 2024, Ansara Pabenga gives of herself immeasurably in supporting our community. Her work with the parent engagement team has been crucial to its growth in our upper school grades and our ability to meaningfully connect our families. This year, Ansara was instrumental in facilitating the partnership between the Ashley Hall Health Center and the MUSC Back to Business program, which guided the way for the reopening of our school in the fall and the ability to sustain on-campus learning all year long. It is not an exaggeration to say that her tireless efforts have touched the life of every student on campus. Thank you, Ansara. The Dana Mobley Award is given to an Ashley Hall faculty member or members working collaboratively in recognition and support of a particularly innovative professional development project designed to enhance existing curricula or to provide new directions. The primary purpose is to encourage innovation and invention. After a year of separation and isolation due to COVID-19, the Dana Mobley Award is presented to the Visual Arts Department for their work on leading the assemblage project for our school. Assemblage is a theme that will guide a number of projects to be realized within our various disciplines, divisions, and community partners, parents, executive board, supportive citizens, etc., and bring us together around a common goal. This idea has the potential to manifest work related to our school's diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging initiatives and the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. The award will help fund the work of guest artists on campus. Tina Hersig, please come forward to accept the award for the school. I'm pleased to now announce the Distinguished Faculty and Staff Award. This past year has tested all of us. And together we have exhibited the true meaning of what it means to live in community as a school. While we have all made sacrifices for one another, we owe an enormous debt to two individuals in particular, Tiffin Lamoureux and Charlene Magnuson. As Ashley Hall's healthcare professionals, you have been our courageous protectors throughout the maelstrom of this pandemic. Quite simply, our school year on campus would not have been possible without your expertise and unwavering commitment to see us through. Each day, you worked for our safety and security, and through a magnitude of uncertainties, changes, and setbacks, you forged ahead. Thank you for being the very best role models of selflessness and generosity for our school. Marissa, please come forward.
I'm Marissa Dye, president of the senior class. We have had the opportunity to spend a lot of time outside this year in both good weather and bad weather because of COVID protocols. In thinking about our class gift, we wanted to offer something that enhanced areas outside some of our favorite spots. So, on behalf of the class of 2021, we are presenting to the school and to the chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Kenny Harrell, 3 wind chimes, one for the porch on the Warren Street house, another for the Pardue Zen Garden in memory of Mrs. Bolden, and a third for our beloved Shell House.
Thank you, Marissa, and on behalf of the board, thank you to this very special class for those wonderful gifts. More importantly, on behalf of the board, we want to thank each member of this class for the resilience that you've shown over the past 15 months. It's been a wild ride. You guys can attest to that. I hope that many of you have reached out to the great people that work at Ashley Hall, and especially your amazing teachers, to thank them for everything they have done to keep this school open and running over the past year. It's been quite a challenge. But what we all know, those of us with grayer hair, is that during the years ahead, each and every one of you will face challenges which frankly will make the pandemic look like a walk in the park. But what we also know is that based on the foundation that you've had instilled at Ashley Hall and by your families, each and every one of you is going to be well prepared to rise to those challenges. So we thank you for your gift. We are so excited to watch your journeys ahead. And again, the best of luck and thank you.
Well, here we are. I'm not sure many of us ever envisioned ourselves actually making it to this day, but wow, we did it. We are finally graduating. I want to take a moment to welcome all of the graduates, faculty, honored guests, family, and friends. I'm so grateful to be standing here with y'all today. It is so wonderful to see such a large, joyful gathering, something we haven't really been seeing much of lately, all to celebrate the 46 graduates in this class. When I found out I would be given the opportunity to speak with you all today, I may not have had the most typical of reactions. There may or may not have been tears, and not the happy kind. Some hangers might have been thrown across my room as I was mid-closet purge, and best speechwriters in Charleston may or may not have been Googled. I was anxious that I would have nothing to say to you all, that I would disappoint or bore you. But when I sat down and really thought about it, it quickly became clear that, if anything, I had too many fond memories that I wish I could share. And how could I not, being part of such a unique class? My first day on campus, shadowing in the 2nd grade, was a bit different than most. Some might say the moment they stepped on campus was magical and they immediately knew they belonged at this school. My day, however, consisted of an emergency lockdown as a burglar ran across campus. Not quite the start I was expecting. I remember being locked in a lower school bathroom, huddled close to all these unfamiliar, crying faces, wondering, why on earth am I here? But after campus had eventually returned to its normal, safe self, and the bell for dismissal finally rang, I was surprised to receive a tearful goodbye and a handwritten card from both the teacher and the class that I had shadowed. And though just a 7-year-old, this kind action sent a clear message to me. I immediately knew these were the type of people I wanted to be surrounded by and that the school is where I wanted to be. And there may have been a short period of time that followed where Porter-Gaud's self-serve ice cream freezer and chinchillas in their classrooms swayed me in the wrong direction, but we aren't going to dwell on that. Fast forward to my first day of school, I entered Miss Rainey's 4th grade classroom, eager to make new friends and to dive into this new chapter in my life. Starting fresh in such a tight-knit community, as a girl who had just moved from England, you might have expected me to be nervous, but I was quite the opposite. I came home that day grinning from ear to ear, wondering why people in movies made such a big deal about being the new kid at a school. I couldn't have been welcomed in the grade any better, with each and every classmate showing a genuine interest in getting to know me that very first day. And from that day forward, I knew I had joined a very special group of girls. Our school is so unique in that I can think of a funny memory, a nice conversation, or an old friendship I've had with each and every classmate. Or as my 4th grade self used to put it, Ashley Hall is so cool because I know everyone in my grade's middle name. Standing here looking out at you all, I'm reminded of where our grade started and what we have become. I'm not going to lie, we all know there have been some very high highs and some very low lows over the year, but as I like to remind myself, everything happens for a reason, and without every moment leading up to this point, we wouldn't have been shaped into who we are today. If I had to think of one word to describe our grade, I would choose resilience. And I know this has been somewhat of a buzzword this year with COVID and all, but I wouldn't choose this word based on the events of this year alone. Since 6th grade, when we proudly wore our BBB shirts, our passionate 8th grade petition to wear shorts to exams, all the way to our senior Zoom therapy call, and all the other moments in between. This group of determined girls has made it clear that we will never be looked over and we will never give in without a fight. And I know we will all carry this fighting spirit through the rest of our lives, always knowing our worth. And I know you all are probably just as tired of me of hearing how much we have suffered and lost due to COVID this year. But I don't want to minimize what we have accomplished and what we have collectively gotten through. Through all the mass quarantines, COVID scares, and attempting to organize events like Father's Day and prom during the pandemic, I know that the resilience we all have will stay with us through college and carry us far in life. As we are about to embark on this new chapter in our lives, we may feel excited, nervous, overwhelmed, or like me, a mix of them all. The road ahead will not be all sunshine and rainbows, so when you need a little piece of home, remember our days here together. Remember the flood days, the 300 pounds of tater tots, Dan Weldon's hip bone, our fabulous production of Schoolhouse Rock, the hours spent playing foursquare on the sports court, 7th grade locker room, Eddie Bush's surprise Christmas concert, that entire week when the chemistry hamster Door was missing in Jenkins, Madame Doherty's French class, and all other moments we hold so near and dear to our hearts. And despite what the Senior Appreciation Tree and the Student Life Center may have displayed, everyone graduating today is incredible and capable in their own unique ways, and I can't wait to see how and where everyone flourishes in the years to come. PQFE, Class of 2021.
Good evening, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here with my amazing classmates as we celebrate our commencement.
and I'm privileged to have the opportunity to share a few thoughts on the time we have spent together on this campus. On Google Maps, Ashley Hall is just a small private girls' school located at the corner of Rutledge and Radcliffe, but in our purple and white hearts, it is so much more. As some of my classmates may know, I am passionate about music and enjoy compiling playlists for family and friends. Recently, I asked for your help in compiling a senior class playlist entitled A Day at the Hall, with songs that we found ourselves frequently listening to while sitting on senior lawn on those perfect 75-degree days. It includes 47 hits ranging from Traveling Soldier by the Chicks to Come On Eileen, a song released by Dexy's Midnight Runners 40 years before most of us were even born. While we clearly have a wide range of musical tastes, there are definitely a few common threads: friendship, love, perseverance, that tie our songs and us together. In 2017, our 9th grade year, Phoebe Bridgers released Motion Sickness. Listening to it reminds us of the emotional roller coaster ride that takes place in high school. We can go from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, but thankfully we have our classmates to lean on. Each of us, at one point or another, has had one of those terrible, horrible, no good, very bad days where it feels as if nothing is right and everything is wrong. In those moments, we have looked to each other for support, whether that meant grabbing lunch at Chipotle, talking over coffee at Halo, or just sitting quietly with each other in the library. We have found ways to reassure each other that it is all going to be okay, and today is certainly proof of that. Entering 10th grade, we anxiously anticipated celebrating our Sweet 16 and attending other social events. I know I'm not alone in remembering that sometimes we danced so hard and so much that our legs ached the next morning. We were, in the words of singer and songwriter Lana Del Rey, young and beautiful. Of course, we know that being beautiful does not mean measuring up to some Greek ideal we may have learned about in classics. Rather, it is about loving each other and ourselves for who we truly are. None of us are perfect, and after 4 or many more years together, we could probably list each other's foibles and quirks. But Ashley Hall has encouraged us to instead focus on all that is good, to recognize and applaud each other's incredible talents and attributes. After all, seated among us are highly accomplished athletes, designers, musicians, writers, and the list goes on. I know that even after we step outside of the Smith Street gates, we will continue to cheer each other on as we take the next steps in our own personal journeys. It was just last year, in 11th grade, when we all began to feel a little bit anxious about the future, wondering if we had done enough or been enough to successfully apply to college as seniors. We received reassuring words from everyone, especially those by the name Mrs. Merle, to just keep going and things would eventually sort themselves out. It was as if she had one of our favorite songs, Billy Joel's Vienna, playing in her head, telling us to, quote, "Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile." And, "Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out." Of course, the true test of our ability to remain patient and just stay the course came in the form of a pandemic. We didn't see it coming, but when it came, we all made the compromises necessary to not only survive, but thrive. And now, here we are, mask-free, and if only for one more summer, carefree. Next fall, we will find ourselves spread across the country, pursuing our goals and realizing our dreams. I admit to feeling a bit nervous about the prospect of leaving this place. In the words of Stevie Nicks, and I promise that Landslide will be the last song I quote, "Well, I've been afraid of changing because I've built my life around you." We've all built much of our lives around Ashley Hall, its history and its traditions. We are grateful for the foundation and inspiration it has provided. Both will serve us well. Each of our futures will be distinct, with its own unique trials and triumphs. But I hope that when, at some point down the road, you find yourself compiling your own favorite list of songs, you will remember to include one from our days here together. Music really does make for some of the fondest memories. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Ashley Hall Class of 2021.
Thank you, Abigail and Kitty. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, renowned author and scholar Kendra Hamilton. A member of the class of 1976 and a Charleston native, Dr. Hamilton was scheduled to be with us last year as the 2020 commencement speaker, but was prevented from attending due to pandemic restrictions. We are so glad that she is able to join us today, 45 years after her own graduation on Ashley Hall's senior lawn. Dr. Hamilton is an extraordinary role model for our students and an invaluable member of our Board of Trustees. A professor of English and the director of Southern Studies at Presbyterian College, she earned her Bachelor of Arts degree from Duke University, a Master of Fine Arts and Creative Writing from Louisiana State University, and a doctorate in English Language and Literature from the University of Virginia. A consummate educator and powerful advocate for social justice, Dr. Hamilton uses her creative and civic impulses to motivate others to engage in meaningful dialogue. This past year, her work as co-chair of the Board of Trustees Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force was vital to supporting Ashley Hall's ongoing efforts to foster a community where everyone belongs and feels empowered to speak. An accomplished poet and researcher, Dr. Hamilton is a respected and inspirational voice in cultural preservation, community engagement, and civic duty. In addition to serving 2 years as the vice mayor of Charlottesville, Virginia, she co-founded and administered 2 church-based community gardening and hunger ministries. A Cave Canem and a Rockefeller Foundation Bellagio Fellow, her recent art reflects her research into the lives of people enslaved at McLeod Plantation near Charleston. Her poetry and essays have appeared in numerous literary journals and anthologies, and her scholarly and creative interests often delve into the histories and cultures of food and their interconnections with race, gender, folk cultures, and the environmental histories in the United States South and the global South. Indeed, words and their power to reveal truth and manifest change are deeply important to Dr. Hamilton. As a poet, educator, and activist, she has dedicated her life to building a better world by building connections with others. To me, she is the embodiment of Ashley Hall's mission. And I quote, "An educated woman who is independent, ethically responsible, and prepared to meet the challenges of society with confidence." Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hamilton.
Good evening, everybody. I don't actually know what to say now. Thank you for that really, really touching introduction. You gave away the plot. Yes, it was 45 years ago today, not today, but on a day very much like this one, overcast, a blessedly cool day when the rains had sort of blessedly held off. I'd like to offer greetings to everyone here, starting with Kenny Harrell, our fearless leader on the board of director. And I want to also thank all the members of the board, past and present, people like Hugh and Artie and Ann Francis, who have been so welcoming and supportive as my first term on the board has gotten underway. Greetings also to Jill, our head of school, and the other members of the administration and the faculty, whom I've really gotten to know so intimately and so well over the last year. What a team we have here, and what a pleasure it is to see all these years later that, that the team of people who have come together around the mission of educating girls is still such a powerful and wonderful group. But of course, this is really a day for family and friends, so greetings to all the grandparents and all the moms and dads, including you, Daddy. Bet you didn't think you'd see me up here twice. And of course, all you supportive siblings and friends, including, I have to shout out, my best friend from the class of 76, Lisa Thomas. See, these Ashley Hall friendships are lifelong friendships, so. But of course, and especially, I offer greetings to all of you, the reason that we are all gathered here today. You, the ladies of the graduating class of 2021. I have to say, I was trembling in my boots at the thought of standing up and speaking after Abigail and Kitty. I was so moved by your beautiful words. Thank you so much. And I'm honored. I feel greatly privileged, and I feel surprised, actually, because I had not actually realized until I started preparing these remarks that this was an anniversary year, that this was the 45th anniversary for the class of 76. I was overwhelmed by the memories that I had of standing on that balcony in my white dress, holding my candy apple red bouquet of red roses, and preparing to take my graduation portrait. Looking back, there was a golden haze of nostalgia over those memories, but when I really think about it, the times were no less tumultuous than these. The Vietnam War had just come to its bloody and ignominious close, and as we graduates took our seats, it was amid rumors of renewed war, drama in the halls of Congress and on the Supreme Court, turmoil on college campuses, and civil rights strife as southern states fought rearguard battles to make sure that federal mandates to end segregation in schools, in voting, in public accommodations, and every other aspect of public life never, in fact, took effect. They were times, when you think about it, that were not so different from these, matters of degree, not of kind. So even though the day was peaceful and the sun shone, all of us taking our seats on the lawn and waiting in giddy anticipation for Miss Pardue, our legendary and beloved headmistress, to call our names, were part of that world of great events. There were girls whose older brothers or sweethearts had served in Vietnam, some never to return. There were girls whose fathers and grandfathers had sent them there or commanded the forces there. I, too, was fully aware of the ways that my personal history, along with that of my classmate, Monica Simmons Hammond, was entangled with these capital H histories in Charleston. My father, though recently elected chairman of county council, had been barred from an annual Democratic dinner held at Hibernian Hall only months before the Ashley Hall Junior-Senior dinner was held there. When Monica and I walked across the stage, we would become the first Black graduates of Ashley Hall, a status we had worked hard for, defied odds and fearful parents for, that we shed secret tears for, before buckling down yet again with grit and determination to earn our way. And neatly balanced with all that awareness and all those memories, whether painful or sweet, was the pride I felt. An Ashley Hall girl among Ashley Hall girls, an heiress to a proud tradition. I also felt a bittersweet recognition that in crossing that stage, I would be leaving what had become over the years, and greatly to my surprise, a place of sanctuary for me. I was a child of teachers and had had an excellent Catholic school education before my arrival here, but Ashley Hall stood out. It still stands out as the place where my intelligence had been recognized and my talents given their full scope, where I had been carefully shaped and molded, not in accordance with notions of what my race might befit me to do, which in those days was not much, not in accordance with notions of gender and what might be required to make me a suitable wife, but instead in accordance with that ideal articulated by Mary Vardreen McBee back in 1909, which you hear, I'm sure, again and again. Yes, I was just a girl, naive, insecure. I had just as many doubts as I had hopes, but the outlines of the woman I would become were all there that day, as I waited to walk across that stage. An educated woman, independent, ethically responsible, prepared to meet the challenges of society with confidence. So I may not know you well. We may not have met. We may never have spoken or spoken only briefly, but I know that those outlines are present in each and every one of you, because I know how seriously this school takes the molding of young women. I know how hard everyone works, from the board and administrators to faculty, to the folks who maintain the buildings and the greeters at the back door, and I know how much they care for you. So every class graduates into a world of challenges and contradictions, but you, the ladies of 2021, have been tried and tested in ways that no Ashley Hall class has in over 100 years. You have endured a global pandemic, the first since the 1918 Spanish flu, and this pandemic killed over 10 times the number of Americans who died in the war that framed almost the entirety of my childhood. You endured the terror of watching an illness stalk a city. 44,000 cases in Charleston alone? You felt the heartbreak of seeing family members or friends struck down. You coped with cancellations and lockdowns, masking orders and mandates that I know have been immensely frustrating, that have curtailed your freedoms and left you bored, lonely, cut off from friends and normal activities. But you have done so with an amazing grace, as sweet as that song. The world of larger events must have seemed by turns terrifying, infuriating, and confusing to you. Your pandemic was bookended by the murder of George Floyd last spring and the conviction of his killer, Derek Chauvin, last month. It was haunted by images of weeping mothers and ravaged families, and every moment of solidarity and loving kindness that peeked like a ray through the clouds had its ugly counterpoint, culminating in images of screaming rioters at our nation's Capitol grounds. Talk about an annus horribilis. It's been blow after blow for you young ladies. In order to cope, you have been forced to draw deep on inner resources that you may not have known were even there. And you have shown such grace, such amazing grace, such selflessness in salvaging senior year in spite of everything, in remaking your traditions so that they were safe, but still Ashley Hall and still special, pandemic be damned. When I look out at your shining faces, I see a lot of sweet girlhood, but I also see the faces of the women striving to be born of these times. Like so many Luna moths struggling free of your silken cocoons, you are being transformed by and made even more beautiful because of these labors. You have no doubt been instructed in the rudiments of Eastern philosophy. This is, after all, Ashley Hall. And so I ask you to think of yin and yang, or to speak in more Western terms, of the darkness that cannot be separated from the light. Just so in your lives over the past year, gifts have walked arm in arm with the dangers you've endured. The first gift you've received, you have learned who and what are really essential in life. Many people are old before they learn these things, so it's a great gift indeed. You have learned that heroes wear scrubs, not capes, that those who give care are the ones whose labors we can least do without. You have learned that science can achieve amazing things, and that science combined with compassion is perhaps the most powerful engine of human creativity ever fashioned. You have learned that when the world gets small, that opening your minds to the beauty of books brings enlightenment, and opening your hearts to the beauty of nature and the beauty of each and every member of your community allows you to live large in spite of all restrictions. In short, you have learned at a very tender age to face the ultimate vulnerability, that of your own mortality. and in facing it, you have achieved resilience. You have been changed by what you have seen and what has happened to you. And rather than being reduced by it, you have enlarged your horizons. I salute you. We all salute you. So the challenges facing you as you step into adulthood are tremendous. An old paradigm whose problems once seemed so intractable, so insoluble, seems to be cracking, and that brings both opportunity and greater potential threats. It's a crazy time to be entering the so-called real world, and I would like to close with a thought with Charles Darwin. I know you're thinking, Charles Darwin? But stay with me. Darwin is a guy who gets a bad rap. He's often blamed for the uses to which 19th and 20th century eugenicists made of his theories, survival of the fittest and all that. But Darwin, the man, was a Christian and a passionate foe of slavery. And his thinking was far more nuanced than the portrait that is drawn by the racists who appropriated and distorted his legacy. What Darwin actually said was, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one that is most responsive to change." I'll repeat that because I want it to sink in. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one that is most responsive to change. When you leave these grounds, you will be walking into a world of change. Not just social change, not just climate change, but also critically of technological change, so rapid and so unprecedented in the ways that it blurs the lines between the physical, the digital, and the biological, that the World Economic Forum is characterizing your time, the time of Generation Z, as a fourth industrial revolution. We've seen the good side of this fourth revolution, how rapidly the new technology can be deployed and respond when faced with a worldwide emergency. But that technology must not be allowed to drive the bus. Its bright promise must not be allowed to blind us to the ways in which the world itself has been shifted on its axis by the pandemic. We cannot unsee the things we have seen. We cannot unknow the things that have been revealed to us. But I look at you, Ashley Hall girls, and I think no group of women on the planet may be better prepared to meet the future that is coming. You have had a wide-ranging, broad-based introduction to the best that has been thought and said in the past, and you are ready to shape the future as educated, resilient women, independent, ethically responsible in ways that the leadership of our society desperately needs. Above all, you are prepared to meet the challenges of our society with confidence and grace, an amazing grace forged in the fire of a terrible year. We are so proud of you. We are so thankful for you, and we thank you for the gift of being able to shepherd you at least a few steps along your way. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the class of 2021. Please show your appreciation for them with a round of applause.
Are we ready? Okay. Grayson Sophia Brewer. Bryce Hazel Tuberville. Mallory Caroline Meese. Ella Gray Settle. Lauren Elizabeth Letton. Layla Grace Oshert. Emma Dici Ruther. Sarah DeBose Marshall. Annalie Rose Snyder. Sasha Jones Wagner. Riley Elizabeth Kerr. Riley Anson Callender. Ainsley Francis Newman. Marissa Bradley Dye. Callie Irene Cox. Eliza Webb Murrell. Lachlan Youngs Murray. Caroline Ann Prokaska. In absentia, Ziyang Wang. Laura Abigail Glanville. Logan Elizabeth Tunick. Catherine Gray McAvoy. Abigail Talene Clark. Elizabeth St. Clair Martin. Ava Louise Pabenga. Kun Wan. Claudia Sage Miller. Ava Grace Evans Godley. Sarah Virginia McLean. Kayla Louise Kirkland. Naya Grace Roper. Elizabeth Capers Bradley. Anne Whitcliffe Fort. Ashton Connor Calloway. Caroline Bradford Burnham Willis. Meredith Louise Devine. Mary Scott Brisson. Mia Gracie Rogers. Ruby Ophelia Sloan. Catherine Marianne Goldman. Kedi Jiang. Blythe Elizabeth McCurry. Grace Doris Suji Beck. Anna Capri Morin Burke. Zitong Jia in absentia. I just want to make sure, did we get everyone? Patricia Eisenhart. Excuse me, wait. Patricia Camille Eisenhart. Class of 2021, please stand. I'm so glad and proud to present the class of 2021 of Ashley Hall, PQV.